So I welcome you all today on a very, very special day. I'm not sure how many you are aware that tomorrow is Narsimha Chaturdashi. And it is a very special day. It marks the appearance of Lord Narsimhadev. Appearance means his birth. He incarnated on this day. Now we get many references from the scriptures that Lord Narsimha is none other than So Lord Nrsimha is none other than Krishna himself. So we have to understand this day, realizing that Lord Nrsimha is none other than Lord Krishna. Now Lord Nrsimha Dev is a very, very special personality. Why? Because in him we can see anger, extreme anger, and extreme passion and compassion and mercy simultaneously. So let's begin our presentation for today. I'll start sharing the screen. I need to give me the host rights. Okay, so millions of years ago, the earth was plunged deep into the ocean. There was a time when the place where we are living, the earth, was submerged totally under the ocean by a demon called Hiranyaksh. And at that time, Lord Krishna.
Ma'am, do we have a photo of this demon? Because they're two
Yes,
brothers, right?
yeah, I just showed, no? Shall I show it again? Yeah.
Because it's just confusing, who is the elder brother? For me to refer, how would I
Okay.
explain? Because they're
So
two
this
and
one is,
names
I
are
think, this
similar.
one, they were, I think, twin brothers. Anyways, I think we consider Hiranyaksh to be elder brother. I'll show again. So this is Hiranyaksh, and this is the Varha incarnation of Lord Krishna.
So, in fact, because I have been signing mustache, teeth, and horns, but there's no horn like that. There's no teeth, no mustache
For whom?
for the demon.
If you look closely, he has big teeth, and not necessarily they'll have teeth. The characteristics can be like demon. He has teeth. On the left side is Hiranyaksh. So
Okay.
I'll continue. So at that time, Lord Krishna incarnated in the form of a boar, and it is called Varaha Avatar. And he brought back the earth from the ocean. And in a very fierce battle, Varahadev killed this demon Hiranyaksh. So this demon who got killed, Hiranyaksh, he had another brother, and his name was Hiranyakashipu. He was an equally powerful demon. And when he heard that his brother had died and he was killed by Lord Vishnu, he wanted to take a revenge with Lord Vishnu because the Lord had killed his brother. So Hiranyaksh was killed, and Hiranyakashipu now wanted to take a revenge. And for what he did, he went to Mandara mountain. There is a mountain range which is called Mandara, and he started severe penances, what you call in Hindi as tapasya. And what he did, he stood on one leg, and he stood there for thousands of years. And his tapasya, his penance was so strong that he developed a lot of heat around him. His body started producing so much of heat that the entire all the Devi Devtas, the demigods, they got worried. And since he was standing there for many years, thousands of years, there was an ant hill. If have you seen the photo, there was an ant hill which got developed around him. And when ant started developing, ant ate away all his skin, and he was just left like a skeleton. So such severe penances he did just to get wounds, just to get revenge from Lord Vishnu. Now, when all the demigods saw that this demon is, doing such severe penances, such severe tapasya is doing, they all got worried. And the head of the demigod is Lord Brahma. He's like a father to all the demigods, to all the Devi Devtas. So they all went to Lord Brahma and requested for his help, that you go and pacify this demon, Hiranyakashipu. So this, I think I'll shut down because lots to read. I'll start explaining. So when Lord Brahma reaches there, he looks at Hiranyakashipu and he's shocked because all he can see is a skeleton standing there on one feet and doing severe penances. And there was an ant hill, yet the breathing was happening. He could see that somebody is breathing inside. And what did Lord Brahma did? Lord Brahma sprinkled some holy water on Hiranyakashipu. And the moment he did that, Hiranyakashipu came back to his original form. He got his original body back. And then he offered, okay, can you tell mommy is taking this? She's fine. Yeah. So when he did that, now when Hiranyakashipu opened his eyes, he saw that Lord Brahma is standing right in front of him. He paid his prayers, he paid his respects to Lord Brahma. And then Lord Brahma asked him, what do you desire? Now the main aim of Hiranyakashipu was to take revenge from Lord Vishnu. Apart from that, he wanted a lot of powers. Now it is not easy to fight Lord Vishnu, right? So for that, he has to become very, very strong. But Hiranyakashipu just didn't want that. He wanted to become immortal. Immortal means that he can never be killed by anybody. He can never die. Now Lord Brahma said that I am myself, I am not immortal. There will come a time when even I will die. So how can I give you this boon? If apart from being immortal, I can give you anything else. You ask me, what do you desire? Now Hiranyakashipu was very clever. The kind of things he asked, he used a lot of intelligence. He manipulated his statement in such a way that in no way anybody can kill him. So what he asked? He asked that he can never be killed by any creature of land and sea. He should not be killed by any human or any devata. He should not be killed by any weapon. There is no weapon present on earth which should be able to kill him. And he should not die either at daytime or nighttime. And above all, he should not die either inside of the house or outside of the house. He should not die on land. He should not die on air. So imagine somebody is so intelligent that he created all safety measures around himself so that in no way can anybody kill him. Now remember all the boons. We will come back to them at the end of our session. So now Lord Brahma said, okay, I grant all these boons to you. After that, Lord Brahma went back to his abode, to his home in Brahmaloka. And Hiranyakashipu went back to his kingdom. Now remember that while all this time Hiranyakashipu was doing all these penances, his wife, before he left, his wife was pregnant. Before he left for the abode, his wife was pregnant. So what is happening while he is doing tapasya here in the forest? What else is happening in his kingdom? Let's have a look at that. So when Narad Muni was
Mataji, there was some audio disturbances, right?
yes, there is. Somebody's audio is on.
Ramakrishna actually says the host is you now. So if you can mute everyone, then again self you unmute and then start speaking.
So when Hiranyakashipu is doing meditation, all the devtas, they think it's a golden opportunity. Let's go and attack at the kingdom of Hiranyakashipu. Because he is not there in his kingdom, let's take charge of his kingdom. Let's attack him and let's finish everybody. Because he was torturing, he was like a demon. He was torturing all the saints, all the good people in the world. So devtas were anyways very, very troubled with this demon. So now when they go there, they attack his kingdom, and then they capture his wife, and wife's name was Kayadhu. Could you spell the name?
Spelling?
Kayadhu. Kayadhu. That's the name of his wife. So what happened at that time, Narad Muni came. Now remember I told you that his wife was pregnant at that time. She was carrying a baby. So at that time, Narad Muni came to that place. He was aware that, the person, child who of Kayadu is a great devotee of the Lord. What Narad Muni not kill, I will make sure that nothing, there's no harm.
Mataji, I'm sorry, there's some internet issues that freezing in.
I haven't changed my position. No, nothing. I'm just sitting at one place.
Can we try now? Hello.
Hello. Is it okay?
Ma'am, can we try now? Ma'am, I still think you're freezing a little bit. Your voice and your video, both have internet fluctuations in your place.
Shall I log in again? So where were we? Yes. So Narad Muni had taken his wife Hiranyakashipu to his ashram because he knew that the child who is inside the womb of Kayadu is a great devotee of Lord Narayan. So what Narad Muni started doing? Narad Muni started preaching Kayadu about the glories of Lord Krishna. And this child who is inside the womb is attentively listening to whatever is happening, whatever his mother is listening, he is also constantly simultaneously listening to what Narad Muni is preaching. And right from while he was inside the womb of his mother, he became a great devotee of Lord Krishna.
Ma'am, there is some audio background.
Yeah, I just muted. Okay, so now Hiranyakashipu returns and he becomes more powerful than he was earlier. He was more fearful. And now he started torturing the saints, all the good people, and all the devotees of the Lord because he was a great enemy of Lord Vishnu. So now with his new acquired powers, and he also knew that nobody can kill him anymore, he became more fearless, and he became more powerful, and he started torturing, and he thought that he is as good as God himself. And by the time Hiranyakashipu returned, more number of years had passed, and Kayadu had given birth to this child. So Kayadu and Hiranyakashipu's son was born, and his name was Prahlad. I'm sure many of you would be knowing about the story of Bhakt Prahlad. But since it's an appearance day of Lord Narsimhadev tomorrow, so we have specially taken up this session. Now, this child Prahlad was a very okay. This child Prahlad was a very special child. He was not an ordinary child. And by the time Hiranyakashipu returned to his kingdom, Prahlad was already 5 years old. And Hiranyakashipu gave the responsibility to his spiritual master, to his guru, that you take care of Prahlad's education. So remember that Hiranyakashipu and even his spiritual master, they were all demons. And they were all against Lord Vishnu. And among all those demons, among all those bad people, there is a devotee of the Lord who has all the saintly qualities, who has all the good qualities. So while he is being educated in so many things, Prahlad is constantly meditating on the Supreme Lord. Now, his father would treat everybody as his enemy. But Prahlad was not like that. Prahlad would think that nobody is his enemy, everybody is his friend. He had so many wonderful qualities, and his teachers, would try to preach him about politics, economics, how to fight, how to be like a good deep demon. Whereas Prahlad was on the opposite side. He had absolutely no interest in all these things. Once the teacher would go out of the class and the next teacher would come, he would get hold of the children and tell them to chant Hare Krishna. He would tell them that don't waste your life. This human form of life is very precious. Don't waste your life. You should remember all the time Lord Vishnu. You should all the time worship him. Do not waste your life in mundane things. In all, simply waste your time and waste your human life. So imagine a child at the age of 5 would talk all such things. So one day Hiranyakashipu meets Prahlad, and that time also Prahlad was around 5 years old, and he keeps him affectionately like a father on his lap, and tries to inquire him, my dear son, how is your education going on? Like any father, would inquire to his son. And Prahlad was fearless. He replied. He says there are many subjects which the teacher is teaching, but my best subject is how to please, how to serve Lord Narayan. And the more Prahlad glorified Lord Narayan, the Supreme Lord, the more angry and agitated Hiranyakashipu became. He was shocked that how come my child, who's also a demon, who's also a asura, is a worshipper of Lord Vishnu. But slowly, finally, Hiranyakashipu realized that his son is now his own enemy. And so he calls up his guards, his security people, and tell them that please go and kill this boy. Whatever way you want to use, whatever weapon you want to use, you use, but please kill him. Now imagine a father telling he has his one son, and he's telling his guards to go and kill him. So how asuric, how devilish his mind would be. So now the guards take away Prahlad. Now remember that Prahlad is a very, very small boy. He's just 5 years old. And he is standing next to demons who are very, very tall and ferocious and frightening looking. So what all they did? They had very ferocious weapons in their hands. And it is mentioned in Padma Puran that when they would throw these weapons would turn into blue lotus. And the demons could not understand what is happening. They are using such fierce weapons, and their weapons are turning into lotus. And not even an inch was happening to Prahlad. So when they stopped trying that, they threw Prahlad in a pit which was full of very, very poisonous snakes. And when the snakes would come to bite Prahlad, it is mentioned in the scriptures that their teeth will fall off. Their limbs will get cut off. And blood will start vomiting. They will start throwing blood from their mouth. And then they will get frightened and run away. Then when that also didn't work out, then the guards took him and made him sit in a pile of fire. Again, it is mentioned in scriptures that fire did not affect Prahlad. The fire was, he was feeling as if he was sitting in a very cool place. Even that did not affect, because all the time Prahlad was constantly chanting the name of Lord Vishnu. He was not frightened. He was absolutely fearless. All that he was doing, he was constantly chanting the name of Lord Hari. So the guards come back to Hiranyakashipu and they tell that we are sorry. Oh my lord, we are very, very sorry and we cannot kill Prahlad. Something is happening and everything. We even tried to put him under the feet of an elephant. And that is also not he's also not getting killed. Fierce weapons, snakes, poison, fire. He's not getting killed by anything. So now Hiranyakashipu makes up his mind and he decides nobody can kill him. It's now up to me. I am only going to kill Prahlad. So, as a discussion, Prahlad would often say that God, Lord is present everywhere. In every atom, he is present. So Hiranyakashipu brought his gada and he asked, you keep saying that your Lord is very supreme, he's powerful, and he's present everywhere. Is he in this pillar? So he shows him a pillar and he asks him, is he present in this pillar? And Prahlad, as usual, he is very calm and peaceful, has no fear, that he doesn't even know that his father is going to kill him. And he says, yes, father, he is in the pillar also. He's in the floor, he's in the sky, he's in your heart. He's present everywhere. And when Hiranyakashipu listens to this, he becomes more angry. And with the weapon that he has in his hand, he forcefully strikes the pillar and shatters it into pieces. And when the pillar is broken, there was a loud rumbling sound, and the pillar starts to crack. And from this pillar, the Supreme Lord Hari appeared as Narsimhadev. And he was in the form of half lion and half man. His head was like a lion, and rest of the body was like a human being. Now, very interesting thing over here that we must, try to remember that when Lord appeared from the pillar, he simultaneously saw Hiranyakashipu and he also saw Prahlad. When he looked at Hiranyakashipu, he was full of anger and rage and terror. When he moves his eyes towards Prahlad, he's full of love and affection and so much of compassion he had for Prahlad. So this form of Lord, there is a special name of this form, and it's called Sthanu Narasimhan. Sthanu, Sthanu Narasimhan. Sthnu. Yeah. Sthnu. Instead of E, just type U. Yes. So this special form of Lord where he has anger as well as love for two different people is called Sthanu Narasimhan. Now remember when we started our presentation, I told you to remember that what all promises did Lord Brahma give, what all boons did Lord Brahma give, that he cannot be killed by any demon or Devi Devta, he cannot be killed outside, inside, in the air, daytime, nighttime. Now look at the way Lord Narasimhan is killing him. He is neither a human nor an animal. Lord did not use his weapons. How did he kill Hiranyakashipu? He killed it with his nails. He used his nails as weapons and killed the demon. It was neither night nor daytime. It was the time when the sun is setting and moon is rising. It is called the twilight time, twilight. He was neither outside nor inside of the palace. He was sitting on the threshold of the palace, like when you enter the door, that place exactly he was sitting. So he was neither inside and nor outside. So Lord kept even the promise of Lord Brahma, and he killed and he trapped Hiranyakashipu in his own web. So we see that Lord not only kept his promise to Prahlad and protected him, but he also protected Lord Brahma. How? Because Brahma had given boons to Hiranyakashipu. So the way Hiranyakashipu had asked, according to that only Lord killed him. So to develop firm faith, what we are supposed to do? Repeatedly hear the story of Prahlad. Did we not see that he was put into so much of trouble, but he never lost his faith in the Lord? Even daily, we also go through so much of problem. Immediately, we start blaming the Lord. Immediately, we say, "Oh, God is not there. Why God is doing so many things?" But look at Prahlad. He was put into so much of trouble, and that too by his own father. But he never complained. In fact, his faith grew stronger and stronger. So another thing which we learn from this story is that, if the Lord wants to kill, then no one can protect that person. So Hiranyakashipu had made so many plans by doing so many tapasyas, but there was no way that he could have been killed. He made such surety that nothing can kill him in the world. Yet he was killed because he was giving so much of trouble to the entire universe. And Lord not only protects his devotees, but he also maintains law and order in his creation. He kills demons like Hiranyakashipu who disturb his law and troubles his devotees. So we must keep our faith in the Supreme Lord as strong as Prahlad had. Now it is said that now Lord had killed Hiranyakashipu, but his anger was so much that nobody was able to, stop him. He was almost out of control. He was still, raging like fire. None of the Devatas, Narad Muni, who was so close to the Supreme Lord Vishnu, even Lakshmi Devi, who was the wife of Lord Narayan, who was the wife of Narasimhadev, they also could not gather the courage to go near Lord Narasimhadev. They were so frightened of him. Then Narad Muni asked Prahlad that you go and offer your prayers to the Lord so that he can be pacified. So after many, many prayers, it is mentioned in our scriptures that Prahlad offered, now we don't have so much of time, but Prahlad went on and on and on glorifying the Supreme Lord. And he spoke so much, and so slowly Lord Narasimhadev's anger subsided and he became peaceful. And he very gently, like a father, like a very, very loving father, he pats Prahlad's head and very affectionately asks him, "What is your wish?" Now, a child of 5 years, how much could he have asked? Anything, anything under the sun he could have asked for. And what does Prahlad says? He says, "Oh my dear Lord, I just wish to serve you birth after birth. I don't want anything else. And also, please forgive my father." So imagine Hiranyakashipu tried his level best to kill his son. And the same child is asking the Supreme Lord that please forgive my father. So that is the quality of a devotee. A devotee will never take revenge. No matter what one does to a devotee, his heart would always be full of love. He would always think good about even his own enemies. And these are the qualities which we all should aspire to develop in ourselves. So Lord Narasimhadev blesses Prahlad and says that members of any family that gives birth to a pure devotee like you shall be liberated from repeated cycle of birth and death. So don't worry, I will take care of your father. And it is a fact, even in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that if in any house, if somebody becomes one person becomes a devotee, his back generation, 7 generations in front and 7 generations in the back, they all get liberated. And that rule applies for us also. If we become good devotees of the Lord, then our 7 generations behind and 7 generations ahead, they will all get liberated from the cycle of birth and death. So Lord blesses Prahlad and goes back to his kingdom, and Prahlad rules over the kingdom for thousands of years as a perfect ruler. So this picture that we have just seen is of Lord Narasimhadev from Mayapur. If ever anybody of you visit West Bengal in Mayapur, you can have a look at this beautiful, deity, Lord Narasimhadev. And Lord Narasimhadev is not only gentle, he's ferocious also. So there are many times people think that, we should not keep a picture of Lord Narasimhadev in our house because he's going to destroy us. So if you think that you are Hiranyakashipu, then definitely Lord will destroy you. But if you think you are like Prahlad, then definitely Lord is always going to love you and protect you. So tomorrow is his appearance day. And we all must pray, and we should all think that, oh Lord, we should offer our prayers and think that, please, oh Lord, you protect us from all evil influence and remove all the obstacles in my spiritual path. In fact, those people who worship Lord Ganesh, it is said that Lord Ganesh gets his power. He holds the feet of Lord Narsimhadev, and he gets his power to destroy all obstacles. You remember that we all pray to Lord Ganesh and think that he is the he removes the obstacles in our path. But where does Lord Ganesh gets his power? Lord Ganesh gets his power from Lord Narsimhadev. So that's a small prayer from Srimad Bhagavatam. So here is a small prayer from Srimad Bhagavatam. I will just read. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Narsimhadev, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possesses nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires, material desires. Please appear in my heart and drive away our ignorance. So that by your mercy we may become fearless. And may there be good fortune throughout the universe. And may all envious persons be pacified. So this was a prayer which is present in Srimad Bhagavatam. And I would like to, tell all of you, if it is possible, to observe fast tomorrow on on the account of Narsim Chaturdashi. The fast is till the evening, and then you can have your normal food. If it is possible, if your health permits, you can, observe fast and remember Lord Narsimhadev. So yes, fasting till dusk. So I hope this presentation was good and you enjoyed and you learned that Lord is the protector. If we become devotee of the Lord, there's nothing in the world which can affect us. So please develop faith like Prahlad had faith on the Lord. So Lord will kill all the negative qualities that is present in us. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.